Let's go. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, guys, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today is how to be successful. Basically, what I want to talk about is hours, right? You right now, you're young. You're young. You trade your time for money. That's it. When you have time, you trade it for money. When you have money, you trade it for time, right? So your 20s largely is going to be you busting your ass. This isn't me. You can go watch Alec Mosey. You can go look at anyone who's actually made money. 20 to 30, 100-hour weeks. You have the energy right now. You don't have the kids. You don't have the house. You don't have the stress. It's just going to get worse, right? You want to set yourself up now to be successful. So you should do an inventory. If you don't, you're not serious. All right, so really you have 112 hours every single week as an adult to go out and do what you want to do with it. So you guys made your vision boards. The energy I get from you is that you're serious about making your visions come true. How bad do you want it? So of the 112, you're giving me 24 hours where you actually make money. What's important to understand is just like the fishermen, you only get paid when you work, right? Like, you ever heard the man of the fisherman story where one fisherman, he spends forever getting his tackle ready, forever finding the right spot. He finally gets his line in the water at noon, right? He gets his line in the water at noon. Then his wife calls him. He's got his daughter's birthday. He packs out and he's gone by 2 o'clock. And he only caught 1 fish. And on his way out, he passes by another guy who had 10 fish. And he's like, how did you get these 10 fish? He's like, I came out at 8 and I put my line in the water. Do you guys understand? So one of them actually had his line in the water for 10 hours. The other one had his line in the water for 2 hours. So as a fisher of men, which is what we are, we don't stand in front of my camera, Chaz. You're all good. We don't get paid for meetings. We don't get paid for bro time. We don't get paid for anything other than hours on the doors. That's the only thing that gets us paid. The reason why we're entrepreneurs is we don't want to make $16 an hour. Even if you liked it, at the end of the day, they're not paying you enough. Like, this isn't enough money you're going to be poor forever. You're going to like barely pay your bills. It's never going to catch up. You're never going to make money. If you are brand new, you don't have any skills, if you come out and work for me, I promise you, if you actually knock doors and you're present, you're not on your phone, you're going to make $40 an hour. That's like if you're like dumb, like all you can sell is a lay-me-down. Like literally they'd have to be like, bro, I wanted solar. I was waiting for someone. I prayed to Jesus and you came. If you work 50 hours a week, you'll find that guy. You'll make your money. What I want to do, and this is what we were talking about with Josh, is how you get up to that $100 an hour mark or more. Really, it's just skills. So we're going to have the Bright House Academy, right? So the Bright House Academy is a curriculum that I have. Everyone should be doing this. And if you aren't doing it, then text the group chat, what's the next step? So the 10 things you got to do is you have to write down your features and benefits. And right now, we're small enough, I can approve all of your features and benefits. I can grade them for you. Yesterday, Neef gave me his features and benefits. They were perfect, but they were too complicated. You know, he was saying stuff like 25-year warranty. This allows you to mitigate risk of the long-term investment. So the features and benefits is going to be your feature. Hey, we have a 25-year warranty. That way you don't have to worry about anything. So it's going to be really simple in the language that the homeowner wants. You're going to have 10 of them that you're going to go over. Then you're going to have 10 different closes. So this is every time you got to expect someone to tell you no. You already knew they were going to say no. You knew what you were going to say. When they say no, you're going to overcome their objection and close them again. You can't use the same close. You can't say, can I see your bill? 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 They're going to feel like you're scripted. They're going to feel like you're a robot. You have to have 10 different closes. Do you typically pay more in the summer or in the winter? What side of the home is your meter on? Come show me, right? When we put the panels up, would you want the panels on this side of the house or that side of the house? I'm going to have Thomas in the area this evening. Does 3 o'clock work better or 6 o'clock work better for you? You're going to have 10 of those memorized, ready to go, passed off. This is, like if you're going out and doing this stuff and you don't have this stuff, then you're wasting your time. I mean, you're making 40 hours. I want you to make 100 or more, 100 plus, right? And then the other 10 things you're going to have is a full like objection cycle. So what 10 most common objections we get? I'm not interested. Sure, it's not very interesting, but it is important. My job is super simple. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. You're going to give them one of your features and benefits. We're local, so if you ever have an issue, you can actually come to the office. My job is just to make sure you guys qualify. What side of the home is your meter on, right? So you're going to have 10 full cycles. Every time we handle an objection, it has the same process. The first thing you're going to do, and you should write this down. Like if you don't know this, and I'm telling it to you, this is it, guys. Like when I go out and work, I get $200 an hour. And this is exactly how I do it. So if you're not paying attention to how I do it and you can't memorize this, then who are you listening to? You know? So a neutralizer, what's a neutralizer? Does anyone know?
Sure.
Yeah, it's just a one-word answer that neutralizes their objection. What it says is, I already knew you were going to say that, and it doesn't affect anything. So I'm not interested. I know. I just took the wind out from under your sails. I'm just buying myself 5 seconds so that you'll listen to my objection. You have to have a neutralizer every time. I know is one of my favorites. You can say sure. You can say perfect. So after you neutralize, then you overcome. So you got to acknowledge what people are saying, or else they're going to be annoyed with you. Like this kid isn't listening to what I said. You know, my wife's not here right now. Sure, you know, I don't want you sleeping on the couch over solar. What people love about us and what your wife's going to love is we're going to get you on a low rate that never goes up, right? So I overcame it. I addressed it. Like, you're not sleeping on the couch. It's usually like a witty one-liner that acknowledges that you heard them, right? That's it. Then the feature and benefit, when people tell you no, all they're saying is the supply versus demand curve isn't there. I haven't seen enough value for what you're saying, so I'm going to tell you no. So what you have to do is you have to increase the value proposition. Share with them one of your 10 features and benefits that you already have passed off. Now, this is a big thing that rookies miss. They might do these things, and then they stand there. Sure, I wouldn't want you sleeping on the couch over solar. What you'll like about us is we're local. Okay, thanks for coming. Slam the door, right? You have to close. You have to close. If you aren't closing, like, you don't have balls, and you shouldn't be selling solar. Closing, you have to move the conversation forward, right? Like what I said, we're local. Do you get your bill online or do you get it in the mail? Right? The close, you have 10 of them that you've memorized. There are 10 ways that you're going to move the conversation forward. They're really nonchalant. They're really casual. They just show that, like, I'm so confident that what I just said overcame your objection, that the next step is we're going to move on with signing up for solar, or move on with signing up for an appointment. I do this all day, every day. Everyone wants it. So as soon as I say something like this and this, the next logical thing is I'm moving on with my job. If you don't close, it shows that you're not confident in any of these things and you're not confident in your product, okay? So this is the process, guys. What I'm trying to do is break down and help you guys see how easy it is to get what you want. What we need to do is we need to look at your vision boards and look at what you want and really distill it down to how we're gonna make that happen. So the pathway in solar is, okay, I'm done making $16 an hour. I wanna get paid for my skills. I'm gonna go do something that I get paid for my skills. That's step one. Step two, I'm gonna trade all my time for money, and I'm gonna work really hard to get more money. So what sucks about a job is you can only work 40 hours a week, and you're only getting paid this. Now we're getting paid this, and you can work more. But everyone here is working 25 hours a week. So the program's not really suiting you. I'm gonna dive into it with Chaz. Like, we're running a summer program. If we're on the doors at 1 and we work till 8, dark in the summer, we're getting our hours in, we're gonna make money. Right now it's getting dark at 6. If we're on the doors at 1 and we're getting off at 5:30, it might work. You guys can get your 25 hours in. That's what we're getting right now. But what you're gonna find is once you're good, once you have Bright House Academy done, you're going to make for sure $100 an hour. So some of you are fine with making $2,500 a week. That just might be you. Never made that type of money. That sounds good for you. You can plug into the program. You can work 25 hours a week. There's other of you that you want to make $5,000 a week. And you're going to be frustrated because I didn't tell you that you're not working the right amount of time. Like, don't come out and work 25 hours a week on the doors and then be mad at me that you're not making $5 grand, right? You're probably making $100 an hour as a setter. If you're good, Marquise is good. I bet you he's doing 130. I bet you he's doing 130, maybe even 150. On a good week, he's probably made $200 an hour or even more than that, right? Marquise is great. But if he wants to make $5,000, $10,000 a week, he's got to work more than 25 hours, and he probably knows that. He's probably going to tell me that, this weekend, you know. So point being, guys, is it's actually really simple to distill down exactly what you need to do. You need to figure out exactly how much money you want to make. How many deals is that going to be? How many hours does it take to get a deal, right? A new rookie setter is going to take about 40 hours to get a deal, period. Someone with skills is going to take 20 hours to get a deal. So if you want 2 deals in a week, you probably need to work 40 hours. And if you have a problem with that, I want to work with people that inspire me, right? So you guys, if you're knocking doors, which is, hey, I'm young, I have the time, I want to trade my time for money. If you want to trade your time for money, but you're only willing to give me 25 hours a week, but you're staying in housing and you're taking a vehicle, all that type of stuff, my question that doesn't make sense to me is, what do you really want? What you probably want, maybe even consciously you don't know this, right? But there's not any good reason. You have 112 hours. I'll give it to you. You can give 12 of those hours to Jesus on Sunday. I respect that. Now you got 100 hours, right? What are you doing with that? What I see, what I think is happening, and I know this from personal experience, is in 2026 we have a dopamine issue. Like we say we want things, but we don't do them. And we don't do them because we're addicted to Tinder and scrolling and video games and weed. You know, so we come home and we're like, every day, I want to get my 3 hours of video games in. I need it. I need it to decompress. I need my 2 hours of scrolling. I need my 1 hour of Tinder. I have to smoke or I can't sleep. Do your research. When you smoke before you go to bed, your sleep sucks. Do you guys know that? Can anyone attest to that you don't get to deep sleep, right? I just bought for Joshua for Christmas his deep sleep inducing peptide. Okay.
What?
It's nice, man. I'll tell you.
What
Yeah.
is that?
It's nice.
You inject it in your butt before you go to bed. You get those. The deep sleep. Like it's like a science, right? Like here's sleep. You rest down here. This stuff. You ever like have like a sleep, but it doesn't make you feel good because people keep waking you up and shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't even do anything. It's just like laying down. It doesn't. You need to get into the deep. That's where the rest and restoration comes. You know, and really pro athletes. And what you'll figure out about sales when you actually get into this flow stuff, right? When you actually are making $200 an hour, people pay for flow, right? You make $200 an hour because you can get into flow. You're present. You're focused. It's peak performance, right? So you don't get to be someone that makes that type of money without figuring out how to get peak performance. The chances that you can get peak performance eating Fritos and Doritos and McDonald's and getting 4 hours of weed sleep that's up here and playing video games for 4 hours and like scrolling up into the very moment you're on the doors and your brain's like a zombie. So my point is I'm not judging you guys. I've had struggles with all these things, and that's why I'm bringing them up. These are the things that you have to sacrifice to get what's on your vision board, right? You guys can go see if you ever miss it in the couch room downstairs, the values at Bright House. Here's the 5 values that if you put yourself in this box, I promise you, you'll be worth $10 million. If you aren't, it's because you aren't doing one of these things, right? The first one is gratitude. See, if you're always in that high vibe, always thankful, always high vibe, you're going to make money. If you aren't, if you just can't help it because you came from a poor family and like you're just always complaining and you're just always negative, I'm sorry, but you'll probably stay poor no matter what I do for you if you can't figure out how to mess with your mind and get in there. Second one is integrity. So this is kind of a momentum thing. If you don't work with integrity, it's always going to come back to bite you, right? Discipline is your ability to do what we're doing right now. This is what I have to do. I'm going to do it. This is what I have to do. I'm going to do it. It needs to be done. I've committed that rain or shine, no matter what, I want to make $5,000 a week. I understand that that's going to take me working 50 hours. And I have 112 hours. That's not even hard. We just went over the 50-hour work schedule. It's on the doors by 9:30, off at 6, half-hour lunch. That's literally a normal work day. It's literally just a 9 to 6, except you're getting exercise and chatting with people. It's just as hard as a normal work day, but you're getting paid way more. So that's discipline, right? Get some sacrifice, and then mastery. So sacrifice is you cannot get what you want without burning something. You can't grow without doing the weeding. You have to take it out. This is the stuff you have to sacrifice. If you can't, you'll stay poor. and your 20s will go by. Go look at all the other 30-year-old dudes right here in Fresno that are broke, and they're going to be broke forever. And it's because they had something in here. Sometimes it was a girl. Sometimes it was a boy, Ari. Sometimes it was scrolling. Sometimes it was video games. Sometimes it was drugs. But whatever it was, they just could not let it go. It took away their 20s. Now they're 30 and they're broke. Mastery, right? Mastery is this stuff. If you don't get 1% better every day, then you're going to be poor too, right? If you're not growing, then you're shrinking. If you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. So every single day, you got to not only be disciplined and do what needs to be done, but make sure that you're planning daily activities to get better at everything. Better at the skills that make you money, taking care of your body so that you can get into that flow state and get into your peak performance, right? And investing in everything. You know, I think spiritual knowledge is important. I think that general knowledge is important to your growth. So that's basically what I have for you guys today. I want you to sit down and really consider what you need to sacrifice to obtain what you're looking for. I want you to really consider how many of these hours you actually are willing to give, and understand that you're broke and you don't have anything to give but hours. You don't have anything else to give. So you might be like, I'm giving my loyalty, or I'm giving my white knuckling. I don't know what you're giving. Like, you don't have anything to give but hours that make you money. You're gonna swip those hours for money, then you'll make money. If you guys don't do this, if you can't be your own master, you're gonna have to find a master. You guys know that rule? If you want to be your own boss, if you guys want to make your own money, if you want to be a baller, you got to sit down and own yourself. How am I spending my time? So 80% of our time right now is going to, in my opinion, is bullshit. Because you guys tell me you want money. We're only spending 20% of our time on the doors. 80%, we're still in the houses every day. We still need food every day. But 80% of our time is not to things making us money. And I do think that maybe 10% of that or 20% of that is like team culture and trainings and stuff. And I think that's a good investment. But I bet you at least 50%. But when you want to be a boss, you have to take accountability, absolute ownership, and you have to audit yourself and see how you're spending your time. If you're not willing to do that, then you're going to get kicked down the road until you got a slave master telling you exactly what to do, because you weren't willing to tell yourself what to do.